Zach's Corner return.
Yo, what up, guys? Big Uncle Zach back up in that ass. We're here, Never Again Studio. Big Mike Fauerbach up in this shit. What up? I already cursed twice, and I told myself I wasn't going to curse, but Zach's Corner podcast is back. Been wanting to bring this shit back, but wasn't better to do it. What better time than now? What is that? Oh, that's Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
What better place than here?
Great song.
What better time than now? And yeah, so just want to let all you guys know that I already started my New Year's resolutions before New Year's. You know, start a week early. I wanted to bring this back in the new year, but might as well bring it back now. We had some time. You know, we're the finishers and my whole everything I got going through tons of transitions. You know, personal life, professional life. I know, Mike, you're doing the same thing. We're out here grinding, you know, so.
Moving on up.
Yep, grinding in the trap, as the kids would say. Bussin' straight fam on God.
On God.
Yeah,
I was just going to say
God.
on God.
On God. You know what I mean? Jesus, peace. I put 50 G's on my neck, dude. No one's going to question my religion. But anyways, yeah, so, dude, I don't even remember the last one I did, but, man, I'm pumped to bring it back. I've been wanting to bring the podcast back. A lot of people have been asking me about it. And I feel like I have a lot of stuff to talk about. And I'm obviously one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it back because I'm going to be releasing some new stuff. But, man, just so much stuff. You know, personal life stuff has been going really good. Obviously, I had a son. I'm not sure if the last time I was on here I even had a kid or my wife was even pregnant. I don't even know. She might have been pregnant, but had a beautiful baby boy, Lorenzo Joseph Maslany.
Joey.
Yeah. Dude, there could be a million nicknames for him. Enzo, Lojo, a lot
Joey
of people
on the
coming up with
water.
stuff, yeah. But I just call him Lorenzo. I call him by his full name, or I'll be like, Lorenz, you know, Lorenz.
Big
My
L
guy.
when he gets bigger,
Yeah,
man.
Big L is another good one. And yeah, he's man, he when he was born, he had his head was a little misshapen because of the way his neck was turned in my wife's stomach area / birthing canal, and he had to wear one of those helmets for a while, but it was kind of weird at first. I was really nervous, but man, he got through that no problem. And now he's a freaking animal, dude. He's wrestling around, jumping all over the bed and stuff. He loves wrestling, which is awesome. So that's really cool. We're actually going to, because of this now, he's 1.5 now, and we're going to be putting him in our school. We're going to start up a thing. Our kids' class is called the Mini Goons, so shout out to Sid and the rest of the Mini Goons out there. But we're going to start a thing called the Little Mini Goons, and it's going to be from 1 year old to 4 years old. And it's not going to be like a class. We're not going to be really doing jiu-jitsu or anything like that. We're not going to have the 1 year olds fighting. But we're going to have like some softscape stuff where they like can climb through a hoop, you know, hang on the rings, go across a balance beam. It's like gymnastics, and it's like super cheap. So anybody out there, be on the lookout. Just go to finishersmma.com. You can put your name in there. You could just hit me up on Instagram, Big Uncle Zach Maslany on the gram, and or Facebook. I don't even check that shit anymore. But we'll be releasing that. It's gonna be like $5 a class. That's it. You just bring your kid, and you come with your kid, and you hang out on the mat, and you walk them through the stuff, and we kind of let the kids socialize because Lorenzo doesn't go to daycare, and he's not gonna go to school. So he's not gonna step foot in a public school, as far as I'm concerned. And my wife is on the same path. We're gonna do homeschooling, but obviously we have to get him into different things. One of those things is gonna be martial arts, obviously. Like even if Zach, what if your son doesn't want to train? It doesn't matter. He's training. If I had a daughter, same thing. He doesn't need to be a champion. He'll probably compete when he's a kid. I'm gonna make him just because, you know, I want him to learn what it's like to kind of be in like the closest thing to a fight, but not actually be in a fight. And then, yeah, when he gets older, he don't have to compete, or, you know, if he wants to quit training when he gets older, I don't think he will. But if he wanted to, I would be okay with it. I wouldn't be mad. I'd be sad. I think it should be a big part of his life, especially at a young kid. I think he'll be fine. And as long as you don't force him to do it, you do, but you don't. You just say, hey, listen, like, you don't have to be the best or whatever, but you're doing this twice a week. You need something to do as a workout. And it's going to teach you all the things that we always talk about that jiu-jitsu teaches you and does for you, and the things that martial arts can do. I think the positives outweigh any negatives that he would get from it. So I want to start getting him in at 1.5, just walking around on the mat and just, being aware like, hey, this is what daddy does. He's at the fight gym all the time. One of the coolest things was one of the guys said to me one time, he was telling this kid, or they were asking this kid at school or something like that. They were like, hey, what do you like to do? And he's like, I like to go to the fight gym with my dad. And I was like, damn, dude, if my son says that when he's a kid, like,
Fight gym.
Number one thing likes to do, goes to the fight gym with my dad. I'm like, hell yeah. And a lot of parents already do bring their kids in and, like, while they're training, put them on the side. And, we have like a whole, setup over there. So, yeah, I'm really excited to get that started. So we just took them down to Disney World too. Dude, Disney World, bro.
Was it still busy?
Oh, yeah. It's still busy, but it's awesome. But one thing there are a lot of things I don't like, but the one thing I do like about it is that they restrict how many people can go there in a day. I know it has to do with coronavirus, and they're also super woke, and people are going to attack me. What all the pedophile shit?
Yeah.
Well, Mickey Mouse didn't do it. I mean, guys who are in Disney may have done it, but that has nothing to do with me. My son likes Mickey Mouse, and if he likes Mickey Mouse, he's meeting Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, must have been
we
cool
did
to
that.
see him.
Oh, dude, he freaked out, bro. He was like, and then now when I show him the video on my phone of him like seeing Mickey Mouse, he loves it. He's like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
I remember that. But that's really the only. We don't let him watch TV, but every now and then, like if my wife's making dinner or something, we'll throw on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and that's how he found out about it. And then when we were on vacation, there wasn't really many toys to play with and stuff, so he did. In the morning we'd eat breakfast and watch like a goofy movie or whatever. And I also showed him DuckTales the other day, dude. DuckTales, I could probably, with the amount of dumb shit that's on TV, I could sit around and watch DuckTales. I could watch a few episodes of that before I go to sleep at night, 100%.
Rescue Rangers was another good one.
Classic Chippendale. But the DuckTales I like because Scrooge McDuck was just, most of the things he's doing, he's being an asshole and trying to steal money and, get money from people, which I thought is pretty funny. And then his boy, Launchpad.
Yeah,
Dude,
I forgot about Launchpad.
Oh, no can do, Mr. McD.
Yeah.
He's like, I told you, if it's got wings, I can crash it.
He had the bomber jacket and everything.
Yeah, dude, and he's like completely just a bro.
Yeah, big dude too.
I kind of want to find who did the voice for him. I want to find out and see who it is, because it reminds me of like a dude who used to be like, is just lifting at the gym like, ho, what's up, guys? I'll crash this piece. Hold on tight.
What was his name? Launchpad.
Yeah, Launchpad, yeah. Now, that is that's DuckTales, right? Yeah, that's DuckTales. DuckTales, yeah. But then there's what was Tailspin?
That was it was a spin-off of
Was Launchpad in that?
Yeah,
I
I
thought
think he
so,
was
right?
more of the main star
Yeah,
than
he was
anything.
driving the planes and stuff. I love DuckTales. Let's see, what else? So what I don't like about Disney World now is when you walk, and we only went to, he's still a year and a half, so we couldn't go to like, people will come up and be like, you go to Universal? I'm like, I mean, we
No.
walked around the
Yeah.
Universal thing, but like, he can't go on a freaking T-Rex, thing or whatever. So, but he did love just the lights.
Yeah.
It's like just seeing the Christmas lights, he was like astonished.
My parents still go, and my dad goes to look at the architecture, and then they don't go on anything. They stay in Disney, and they just walk around and go out to eat.
Wow,
and-
that's awesome. Yeah, it's cool. I didn't even think when I was a kid, I'm like, why the hell would I ever want to go to Disney
That's
World,
crazy.
But it is awesome. A lot of people are like, did you go to Epcot Center and get drunk? Like, what? I have a 1.5.
We left the baby
baby
in the room.
Like, dude, people don't think about it, because that's the whole reason I was there. But I plan on really taking him down there. Like, we'll skip next year, I think, because he's still real young. But the year after that, I mean, I would make that a yearly trip where, because we didn't spend that, because people are like, oh man, I'll be paying that off for years. But I'm like, you had 3 kids, and you stayed in Disney. It's wild.
Everyone's
Yeah.
experience there is totally different.
Yeah, and it's super. They're like, oh, it's expensive. Yeah, everything's expensive. Get with it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, where are you gonna go?
Disney was never not expensive.
Yeah.
When we went as kids, it was always a luxury to go to Disney.
Yeah.
Like if you I remember in high school, it was like only 1 or 2 kids in grade school. Oh, you got to go to Disney? But it was like that. It's never been affordable to go to Disney, ever.
No. My
and
parents...
every year, everyone keeps saying it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's always.
Yeah,
it's like going to New York.
I know. What do you expect? We went to... we did go to a lot of the... and you could figure it out. Like, I'm pretty good, and I don't want to say I'm a master at it, but I'm pretty good at finding, like, the free things to do. Like, hey, you just pay $20 to park, and then you have a 1.5-year-old, so you could just walk around. Like, there's this one place called... I don't know if it's Downtown Disney or Disney Springs. I mean, I guess there's like a million different things. I think it's Downtown Disney, but it's all restaurants and shops.
Yeah.
And then they have stuff there too. So like we took them there, and there was like Legoland, or not Legoland, but a Lego store. And then they had like, you know, he likes just looking at the Lego Chewbacca outside. Whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's pointing at it like, what's that? But this is what I was going to bring up. My one gripe against Disney, and I'm sure this is because of coronavirus, but they don't have the I said animals, which they are mostly animals, but they don't have the characters walking around because there's princesses and stuff. They don't have them walking around like they used to. My dad took me the first time when I was 12, and I think my brother was like 6, and so I didn't really care about it as much. But one thing I thought was cool, like you would come around the corner and
You'd
be
meet
like,
the characters.
yeah, there'd be like, you'd walk around and be like, oh my God, there's Goofy, you know? And he'd be out there, and then all of a sudden he would disappear. You'd be like, oh crap, there's the Beast from Beauty and the Beast or whatever. You can't do that anymore. If you want to meet one of the characters, you have to set up a time to do it. Like there's only certain times for them to do it. That sucks.
Yeah.
You know, we did wait in line, but we bought the, I'm kind of like Joey Diaz. I don't wait in lines, dog. You know, if there's a line and there's more than 5 people in it, I don't need it that bad. You know what I mean? I'll just go to a different place. But for him, I was like, all right, we'll do it. But then my wife found this thing where it was like $30 for like Lightning Lane, where you can just skip ahead. So like, there's a
See, that's a
line.
lot of why they do it too. They create the,
There's another,
you know, the
revenue
line, and then
stream,
once they create the line,
hey, there's another 30.
there's plenty of people at a meeting being like, we can totally take advantage of everything with the coronavirus and turn it into money.
Yeah, which is bullshit. But it was cool when I was a kid because you would go there and like, I know we went to, this time we didn't go to, but Hollywood Studios, and then they have their own Star Wars situation.
Yeah, the Star Wars thing's huge now.
That's at a totally different thing. I didn't even see any of that shit, but that one was cool because, you know, like they have all these, and they'll tell you this in the conspiracy theory world that they're all, there's all these underground tunnels where they're stealing kids, and
my God,
maybe they are. I don't know.
I know there's tunnels where like, you know, the whole thing operates.
Right. Yeah. But you know how it is. They take it to the extreme amount. Like they're taking kids, and you don't think that would be on the news that a kid was lost at Disney and never been found again? Like
They're
feel
still
like
covering up from the alligator incident.
What was that one?
It was years ago. They used to not have the water areas roped off.
Oh, yeah,
and a kid went down, and a fucking alligator ate him.
Yeah, so that's probably the kids and parents' fault.
Absolutely.
But, I mean,
did you let your child wander on a beach alone?
No, I mean even at the we stayed in like a resort type place where it was like condos because I always get the Airbnb. I hate hotels.
Yeah.
I'll say if it's just me. And it's like I'm there for the weekend and I'm like coaching Renee or something like that, I'll sleep on the floor at the hotel because I'm still a dirtbag. But if I'm taking my family somewhere, we're getting an Airbnb. We want to be able to cook breakfast. When we went to Vegas for ADCC, Thor got a big-ass place, and you know, because he was going to be in it, but then he got hurt. And it was like me, him, and Laura in like a mini mansion type thing. It was cool. And every morning, like he woke up and, you know, Thor gets up mad early. So he's up cooking eggs.
Yeah.
I come down, coffee's ready, eggs are ready. I'm like, this is sweet. But then you don't have to, because think about how much time that saves. If I got to get to the place by 9 a.m. to work for Flo or whatever, I'm not going to leave. If I'm going to leave at 8:30, then I got to wait I got to wait in a line to get a bagel and cheese or whatever and a piece of crap coffee. I'd rather just get the creamer that I want, have everything set up at the crib. I already ate, so now we can go straight to the venue where everybody's like, damn, I need this coffee. And then they have to abandon the coffee and just go start working.
Hotels suck anymore. Yeah. The only time I was at a nice one recently is when we went to Vegas. But we just went to, we saw a show in Philly, and I stayed at a Best Western, and it was nothing like it was pictured. It was a total shithole.
No, it was
a block I wish I would have not, if I would have known the actual, like I'm starting to learn Philly a little bit more because I've been down there for like the last 6 months off and on. But like if I would have known the area it was in, I would have never even booked the hotel. Yeah. It was literally like, hey, here's a decent area of Philly. You're in a crack house. And then there's a Best Western in the middle of it.
Airbnb will pull some sly moves on you too, but you really gotta look through and.
You know what's slick with the Airbnbs? I stayed with my friend Draws. We went down around Christmas.
Draws. Wait, is that the guy from?
No, her last name is Drosnock, so we call her Draws. It was actually before the holidays, and a guy bought a building, and each room is a separate Airbnb, so it's essentially an Airbnb hotel.
Oh wow!
And like each room is what would be a studio apartment, so you have your washer, dryer, all that. Dude, it was baller as fuck, and then you get a key access, and there's a lobby like a hotel, and then everybody. I'm like, dude, this guy's probably fucking raking in this shit in the middle of Fishtown, dude.
Ooh. Yeah,
it was across the street from like the best restaurant. I mean, her work. She just puts all that shit on a work credit card. But I mean, that's a crazy business to get into, where you're buying buildings now, and then instead you're basically buying and making yourself a hotel without having to get into it.
Yeah, because so even though this is I moved, but in Bethlehem now in downtown. Did you see what they did downtown Bethlehem? So above, there used to be this place, and they still have a place in Bethlehem. It's called the Steel Beam. So if guys out there, if you're looking to get your wife a present, or like she doesn't need my wife obviously she likes jewelry, but she's not like typical like, oh, I need these big diamonds and all this stuff. I'm sure she would take it if I gave it to her.
Yeah.
But she likes more eclectic type stuff, and this is the Steel Beam is actually. Somehow they have a contract with maybe the old Bethlehem Steel, so they have tons of pictures that they own that they reprint, and then they have all this jewelry that they hand make, and they have different people making it and selling it, and it's really cool. So this Christmas I bought her she wanted a Bethlehem star, so I bought her a Bethlehem star with like a glass thing in the middle, so it like reflects the light.
Yeah,
like
those are cool.
Steel forged or whatever. It's really sick. They have so much cool stuff down there. I bought for my son's room. I got him a picture of a train that says Bethlehem Steel on it, and I have that on the wall. But that used to be right next to where like the art studio is, and then also it's now what's that egg place in downtown? You know what I'm talking about? It's like a breakfast restaurant, something egg.
The Flying Egg?
Flying Egg, yeah. So
you're on like, was that North Bethlehem over by the hotel?
Downtown, whatever that is. Yeah, exactly.
By Hotel Bethlehem.
Same strip. So if you were looking at Hotel Bethlehem and you just go up a little bit the hill there, where I used to drink vodka out of a Sprite bottle and get in fights at music festivals.
Yeah, absolutely. That is where the fights were.
Yeah, exactly. Right there. That spot used to be the Steel Beam, but they moved. But the place forced them out. And then the people who own, man, I'm so terrible with names of this stuff. I want to say, I can't even think of what the name of it is. Damasi, that's what it is, or Damasi. It's like they sell cool furniture and stuff that you wouldn't get in like a normal furniture store.
Yeah.
And above that, the guy made those places in that whole building there Airbnbs.
Oh,
and
wow.
I found them on, if you go on your Airbnb app and just search downtown Bethlehem, it's probably booked out forever now. But it wasn't that expensive. It was $200-$300 a night. But I would go there just for 1 or 2 nights, just to because you're right on Main Street.
We were looking for something to do because I go out for St. Patty's Day, and sometimes I get tired of people just being here, and I have to clean up after the mass. I mean, we get away with murder here, but it sucks cleaning up alone.
Yeah.
So we started looking at Airbnbs around the area. There's like farmhouses and stuff out, just kind of right out to the Regalsville area, where like people are just renting like cottages out and shit.
Yeah, if I ever get money like that, man, where I can invest in something, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy places and just turn them into Airbnbs.
My buddy started doing it up at Lake Ariel. They bought 2 houses at the beginning of the pandemic. Because if you really research it, they found it was 2 older people who they wanted out. And then they're like the places, it was a massive amount of work, but my buddy did it and it became very lucrative. They ended up selling both now. And then now because of that, they're getting out of Airbnb and they're just flipping.
Flipping, yeah.
Yep.
I know a couple guys, the Livingston brothers. Shout out to those
Yeah,
guys.
those guys are animals, man.
Yeah. There's a couple of dudes
They
I
still
know.
doing pickles?
I don't know. That was another guy's venture, but
Oh, all right.
they were
yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
in on
yeah.
it, you know? It's kind of like all the shit that I got. I'm like, yo, are you still doing this? I'm like, ah,
Throwing it against the wall, it
yeah,
works.
Something.
Same boat. I
the
respect that hustle.
The entrepreneurial lifestyle is you got to just keep slanging. Yeah, that's, dude, those Airbnbs above in Bethlehem are really sick. And then there's one that Laura, every time the girls, there's the one above Seven Sirens.
Yep.
Every time the girls come in for
It's a
the
big
thing, she
space.
gets them there, yeah. So, dude, you could, I mean, that guy above those places in Bethlehem, even the place that I went to, imagine you're charging $200-300 something a night, which is normal. Dude, you're going to be raking. Think about how much month you're going to get off that.
Yeah.
You know, 2-3 night stay is like $1,000 right there.
Yeah.
The whole month you might make 15 grand.
It's what I want to look into in the next 2 to 3 years because I think it would be so dumb for me to buy a home.
Yeah, yeah.
And then have a place to live connected to the restaurant
Mm-hmm.
I'm owning and working in. So it's like, what are you going to do? Drive to work when you're going to be here so much the next 3 to 5? Like, I'm going to be married to that for
Yeah.
at least 5. So it's like, all right, well, when I look into getting my first space, I'm like, I could be getting someplace cool. Even if I go Wallenpaupack, Pack, Delaware Water Gap, an Airbnb, and what if it pays my mortgage and I just don't have a bill?
Exactly. And then you could just stay there whenever you want. It's like, hey, no one's staying there this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm going to go clean it up.
That's
and
what they
stay there.
did up in Lake Ariel. They booked out the weekends they wanted, and they booked the rest of the year. And they got out of it because it was more or less like you feel committed to constantly having to go up there because you're invested in it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I see that. I mean, I think, I really like Florida, man, and I like the way they're running
That's where
shit
I'm
down
going to
there.
be. That's where I'm ending
telling
up.
you, bro,
It's
that's
the
what-
closest place to
I just keep
dip out.
looking. I just keep looking. I don't necessarily need to be in like those areas. Like I could be somewhere around where I could just drive there. Or, bro, I really think about this too. This is way down the road, but I'm thinking, man, I might just get my pilot's license.
Yeah.
Some shit like that where I could just fly a little and
Yep.
just go up and then not do what Ric Flair did, because I actually shout out to Sid again. He got me for Christmas. I got a Ric Flair a biography. But
Nice.
it's like him.
Is it like the 50 or the ESPN one they did?
No. It's a book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But which one is it? Autobiography is if. Why am I stupid on this one? Certain things I'm like, biography is written by someone else, or autobiography is written by yourself.
I don't remember. I think that's correct.
I think he wrote this one by himself, but dude, he was on it. So he had a friend that had like a commercial license or a pilot's license, and they were going on a small plane. So the fucking guy goes, "Oh, we got too many people and too many bags." So they let off half of the fuel to unload some weight, and then to try to balance it, and then they end up crashing it.
That's how Aaliyah died.
Did they? Yeah.
Filming, they were on some island, and the weight of the plane was too much, and they said, we'll be good. Who fucks around with
Dude,
shit
you
like
don't take a chance for that, man. How did you get through life
Yeah.
taking chances like
And
that?
it was probably made, the decision was probably made without even her realizing what was going
Yeah,
on.
exactly. No, this would just be so I can fly from one part of Florida to another part of Florida.
Yeah, man.
Because right where I stayed
It'd be a fun hobby.
in Kissimmee, there was a wide open field that just had a bunch of old farm equipment,
That's what
and
I
then they
wanna
had a
find.
runway.
Yeah,
and then they
that's
just
what-
had a runway with a plane.
We're on the same page. I said to somebody, I'm like, when I tell people I'm living in Florida, they think I'm like looking to go to Miami.
Yeah,
I'm like,
nah.
no.
No.
I'm like, I want to find like Everglades. I want to find an old airplane hangar that somebody doesn't see the value of, and then I could dump the money I would into a house around here and redo the whole thing, build a studio there.
Yeah, bro. 200.
I got three. Like if you figure out how close that is. All right, let's just say you got 2 days off. Go.
Yeah.
Just go.
I could just fly down there.
Yeah.
From ABE, a commercial flight took an hour and 2 hours.
And that's the bullshit of, beforehand. Like if it was up to you to do it.
Yeah. You could just fly down there.
My Uncle Chuck, who is an absolute moron, God rest his soul, he had his pilot's license. And he just would just tell, like, he flew by like, hey, all the gauges are correct, and then the guy who was training him was like, yeah, but what if like the fucking power goes out? Like, you know, he's like, you lose everything. He's like, you have to understand it, and he's like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's just like running off of flight simulators.
But even on, like, I know this is going to sound completely ignorant, and I know pilots, or, you know, I don't know if there are any pilots listening to this, but they'll probably want to
shout out,
like, you're an idiot.
We'll find out.
I feel like it's not that hard. I really do. I feel like the way technology is now, like could be.
Trust me,
should be
my uncle
super easy.
figured it out. It's not.
I just have to concentrate on it. Just put my mind to it, like my dad said, and I'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, it would be more of nerves for me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, getting to the airport and being like, we could fucking die.
Launch pad.
Yeah.
If it has wings, Mr. McD, I can crash it.
yeah.
Just coming into Florida.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, what's up, guys? He has in every time he lands something, he crashes it. Like,
Yeah.
the one he had the
I
hover
forgot
thing,
about Launchpad.
and
He was the
dropped
best.
it, dude. He dropped it like right in front of. Mr. McDuck got money, so who cares? But he crashes it right into the fountain. It's
Yep.
like right on top.
Yeah, they crossed over with him in quite a few. It's funny that you get to go back and watch all this shit with your son now.
I love it. We were watching just randomly. It was near Christmas, and I just put on Bill Murray and Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
And, you know, just watching some of those old flicks, and the old cartoons are really killer. Because I got Disney Plus now. So, like, DuckTales, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even think about it until I was like looking for Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and I'm like, DuckTales, dude. And I'm telling him, like, yo, Lorenzo, wait till you see this, dude. He just watches it, you don't know, you know. But going back on is like, you know what I heard too? Listen to this one. Remember East Bay?
Oh yeah, they're done, aren't they?
Yeah, it's closing down. I mean, I didn't even know it was still around.
Are they local?
I don't know. I think it was part of like someone Nike or someone bought it. Maybe Under Armour or something.
What was it,
probably.
a catalog they used to send out?
Remember that shit, dude? I used to circle pictures in there and put them on my wall. And East Bay was the GOAT back in the day. And right when I started martial arts when I was a kid, they started selling Under Armour stuff in there and like knee pads and ear guards. And I started buying them from there because there was no locally. You couldn't get, where do you get ear guards? And I didn't wrestle for like a team or anything, so I didn't know. But man, that was really cool. I kind of miss that shit. So R.I.P. East Bay.
Wasn't it crazy? Magazines back in the day?
Yeah. People have no
Cheapskates was for the skateboarders. You'd get it in them, and it was free. Like that was the thing too. Is like you. It was exciting to sign up for something because it would show up once a month. In your parents' mailbox if it got there.
I had all of that stuff. I had East Bay. I had that one. I think I had a skating one for sure.
Yeah, Cheapskates was the big skate one where they had. It was just a catalog and it was everything in California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was sick. And then I used to get Sports Illustrated, and then I used to also rip off Columbia House for CDs and DVDs and stuff like that. Because you could attach it. It was literally, kids will never know. You would take a penny or a quarter, and you would tape it to the envelope.
That's right. That's how they did that.
Yeah, and you would send it in. And then when they would get it and say, hey, okay, mister, and I would just put a fake name, obviously. Yeah. And then put my address. I did it to my Gram's house one time too, and she didn't know. But they would send it like their model was not smart because some people probably paid it and they did make money, but then they would be like, "Well, how is Johnny Johnson's not paying his bill?" And then they would say, "Hey, what are they going to do? Come after me? It's not even my name. You can't tell that I put that on there." They'd be like, "Where are the CDs?" I don't know.
Yeah, could you imagine like being the guy who like when that first started, they had the warehouse filled with all those CDs and then like the anxiety of being like, fuck, this was like not thought out. And like we have to give like hundreds of CDs and the shipping on that.
I think it was like, I want to say it was something crazy, like 10 CDs.
Yeah.
You would get.
Yeah, it was a penny, wasn't it? Like that was the thing. And I don't think it was a monthly subscription either. There was like no way that they could tie you to like
they just said
owing them.
Yeah, they wanted you to pay. The thing was you had to buy like 5 CDs.
Oh, that's right.
At full price.
Yep.
And over a certain amount of time, and then those were, you know, they didn't charge you for those, but it was like...
Yeah, that was some cocaine math in a boardroom.
And I always thought like, at first I thought it was a great idea because I'm going to buy CDs anyways, so why don't I just get these free ones?
Yeah.
And I'm going to buy them. And then I think I did.
CDs, man.
I think I did the first time. I think I bought them because I was like, oh man, I wanted... I got Easy E, Real Motherfucking G's. Sorry for cursing again, but I got that one. And then I got I forget what other CDs I got. I might have got some like really out there.
What did
rap
it go
back in the day.
to? What did it go to after that? Is that them when like that kind of stopped and then the malls became popular? And remember the wall?
Well, the Wall
and they had
was-
like the protection.
Yeah,
Like scratch your CD and you can bring it back.
Wall was still very popular, and I think that got into like you could bring CDs in
Yeah.
and change them.
Yep.
Yeah. And then there was a place, two places. One was in Allentown called Tunes.
Yep.
Do you remember that place?
Yeah.
And then there was another place in Allentown called Underground Set.
Yep.
And those were the places where you would go to get CDs. I love that shit. I love being able to just get in the car and be like, tell my boys, like, yo, we got to go to Underground Set.
Yeah.
When we were like 16, we drive over there and they had the mixtapes. And then over at Tunes, you could get everything. And that was just like it was like a bazaar of records and tapes.
But you
and stuff.
forgot that, like, you know, now even you bringing it up, like when we would have nothing to do, like I remember my buddy Josh would be like, yo, I'm going over to play it again. And, you know, my brother Rich, I'd be like, I think I got $5. Or you just wanted to go smoke butts in the car.
Yeah.
So we would go and it was like, it was the process of going to find music where now it's so accessible.
Yeah.
It's, you know, taken out. I mean, we went over to Double Decker probably a year and a half ago and like looking through crates. But I mean, when I went to DJ school and was DJing for a little bit, a friend of mine was bringing me into that world, and we used to go to Fat Beats and these like underground record shops in New York City, and
Digging
like
in the crates.
that's how you got music to play. And like I remember he like found something, he's like, oh, this is a new Nas, he's like, I'm gonna play this at the party Friday. It wasn't, I mean, MP3s at that time, they were starting to use Serato, where like you can now scratch on an audio file, but like it was the whole point of going into the city, going and getting beers, going to the shop. You know, they're playing music that, you know, I still have music that I found in record shops that I listen to still now, where it was like the whole getting together and going and do stuff is slowly just dying off
And
completely.
then you would have to listen to it too.
yeah,
Now
you
it's
remember
like
ripping the shit open, put it in the fucking CD player on the ride home.
I love that, man. I miss that about music big time, man. I think they really, I mean, it's just the nature of the beast, I guess. But
Yeah, I hang in the middle a lot. I go up to Jerry's and we listen to albums, but like, you know, every time I like something, I can't spend $35 to $55 on the vinyl. But if there's
Yeah.
something that like we just went to a concert, so like we had such a crazy time. This woman threw up over the balcony. It was wild. It was the Electric Factory. It's what you get there. She was definitely thrown out. But I'm gonna buy that vinyl because when we sit down to listen to that, we'll talk about the trip.
Yeah.
So like that to me is worth getting, and we'll listen to it. But like I don't do that with all my friends. I just do it with one.
we would go over to that Underground Set with like $20, and you get three mixtapes. And the mixtapes were they weren't even tapes.
Oh,
they were CDs
mixtapes,
sometimes.
man. When Lloyd Banks was on the scene doing those mixtape.
Yeah,
In New York, so you can go into the city and they're just selling mixtapes
Yeah.
on the side of the road.
Even when I went to California for the first time and I was by myself and I went down to Venice Beach and I was just walking down the street and people were just like,
Yeah.
you know, putting them up 3 for $10 or whatever. And they
There's
were
always
just
like one crackhead in
burnt
Bethlehem
copies.
at 7-Eleven trying to do that.
Hey man, buy my thing. I'm like, oh, it's you? Nah.
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
Yeah, the game is changing, man. You got to be able to, you know, just get with the times, I guess. But it just, people will never understand the coolness of that.
No.
You know, it's like a lost
It is.
thing.
It is.
You know, music like that, you know.
That's why I like going like not antique shopping, but going to like antique shops and like, you know, like looking for like beer tap handles or like
Yeah,
getting into an
all that
odd
stuff,
hobby
yeah.
where you need like how you are with the old wrestlers.
Yeah, I get those all the time.
Yeah.
I love old toys. My mom found my old Ghostbusters.
Oh hell yeah.
The Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
you know, was like a fire station.
The
or
fire
whatever.
station, yeah.
And then
That stuff was huge.
I think about Disney crap too. I had so much stuff.
So much.
that my parents got rid of. You know, luckily my mom, I got to give her credit, my mom saved a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so she's like, oh man, they're up in the attic and cubby holes. I'm like, let me know, I'll get them. I just used to tell her, especially when I was living like a vagabond for a while. I'm like, I know I don't have a place to stay right
You
now.
just don't
per
throw
se.
my shit out.
Please don't throw out my old toys. And it'd be like, you know, I think my mom understood because she knew how much they meant to me when I was a kid, how much how I took care
Yeah.
of those wrestling figures and stuff. And I still have my son plays with them now. He loves them. He's got
Video
a
game
Doink.
systems, my parents.
Kamala.
Like, yeah, Doink, nice. The old gaming systems I still have.
Yeah, we got those.
But it sucks because I had so much stuff, and my parents, same thing. Like they knew my love for video
Yeah.
games, and the basement flooded. Lost stuff. Always the floods. Always the floods.
Screw basements, bro.
Yeah.
That's another one my wife just got from her dad was going to throw out. I'll have to put up a picture of it. It's the old, I think I did before. It's the old box that the Nintendo Duck Hunt came in.
Yeah.
And he has the Nintendo and the Duck Hunt in there. I didn't even
Yeah.
open it. But he's like, hey, if you don't want this, I'm going to throw it out. I was like, no.
Dude.
I was like, ask him what else he has. We'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it. And anytime they ask, they're like, or my dad will post up like, who wants this old VCR? I'm like, me. Everybody else in the chat's making fun of VCRs. And I'm like, I want that VCR.
Yeah.
Because he's like, my wife's like, we already have one. I'm like, we need another one. Believe me, I'll stack up VCRs in case the one
Buddy
breaks.
collects them.
In case one breaks, I
Betas.
got another one.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of old tapes. My dad's like, we don't want those tapes anymore. Give them to me. I want them shits. I want to keep them because I don't even want to sell them. I just want them because I think they're cool.
Getting
That old
into
shit
stuff
is
like
awesome.
that, and then some of my friends will go out like hitting up yard sales.
Oh,
and, like
yeah,
doing
yeah.
the old like hunting for VHS tapes and shit.
When the summer comes back around, up in Banger,
Yeah,
there's one
you're in a
place-
great area for that kind of
on
stuff.
191, that 191 on the way up, there's one spot that is always every weekend. It's a yard
bazaar.
sale. Yeah, and you can go
Yeah.
out there and then they have it. They had a thing.
You're in the middle of that country, man. You start going out towards Belfast. You start going out towards Sailorsburg. You start getting into flea markets and stuff.
I heard there's a good one in Sailorsburg. I've never been there, and I'm just gonna
That's
start
been there
stopping.
since I can
long
tell you a
time,
bunch
right?
of places to go. That one girl came on the podcast from Mind's Eye Vintage. She moved here because like the picking.
Really?
She was from San Diego.
See, I'm gonna find
Like she
some
shouldn't
cool
be
shit.
in our area. Like she's
Yeah.
too cool to be doing something around here. But the picking for she hates winter, but she's like, what the finds are way
Yeah, I'm
better
sure.
than being out west.
We went on Facebook Marketplace and we found
That's not
this-
bad.
yeah.
That's fun to dick around on that.
especially up in that area. Like
Yes.
if you search
Yeah.
local, and we found it's this big wooden truck that's a rocker, but it's like probably like 40 pounds. Like you got something like that now, it'd be double the price and a piece of shit plastic thing. This was like a big wooden truck that we got him, and it's got like boards and it's painted like custom, like someone built it,
Yeah.
and sold it. I got it off some guy. Like I met him at like a gas station to get it, $25.
Yeah.
And dude, this thing is never gonna go away. You could whale it with a baseball bat. You're not gonna break it. That's how
Yeah,
strong.
you'll find your picking, your flea markets, your diners, your corner stores,
Yeah,
all
it's
that
hot.
stuff's out that way.
It is awesome.
how I grew up.
I'm gonna get more of that shit. I gotta keep going to it. What else? So yeah, so all that's going good. Business is doing great, man. Like I've changed a bunch of things at the dojo that I think we needed to update. And a lot of people are still running their academies off like an old model. Just like we love all this old stuff, and you're always going to be down with the old shit, but you also have to remember that times change, people change, and you got to make the changes where you need to. So we made a bunch of changes, and things are really going good for us, which is awesome. So, and one thing that I do a lot is I give away a lot of free games. So this is Zach's corner, and I'd be like, dude, you're in the corner. Did I used to do the Brian Callen drop in knowledge? I forget what I used to do, but I think my new one is gonna be called free game. Like this is the area where I give away free game. And the main reason why I wanted to do the business coaching thing, because first of all, I know people that are making a lot of money off business coaching, which is awesome. But then I see a lot of ads that people are coaching people how to coach business. So it's getting crazy with the business coaching game. Like people are doing all types of schemes. And I wasn't going to get into that, even though my wife was telling me to do it for a while, and my friend Bill and Sheila, they've been telling me to do it for a long time too, because just because of the experience I have and everything. When I started in the working in the martial arts business when I was 14.
Yeah.
I'm 30 or almost 40 right now, 39. So I wanted to. I didn't necessarily want to do it. But what I found is that I'm spending a lot of time on the phone, and I'm spending a lot of time texting people on Instagram and answering questions and helping people start their new business venture. And then I get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
And I like doing that. But now with my son, and I want to make sure I'm working out and concentrate on my business, I really have to bide my time better. And I haven't been doing a great job of that. So I want to do better with it. I got the tournament going. I sink a lot of time into that. I have Laura and Andrew and Renee and everybody helping me with that. We release rankings for the finisher sub only, which is really dope. People are going nuts about that. Our next one is January 15th over at Finishers MMA, Finishers HQ. It's going to be sick. Finisher sub only 20, I think, is the number, but even though we've done way more than 20. So that's another thing I'm going to add in too, is like coaching people how to run a successful tournament. I mean, it'd be tough to say as startups. Like I literally with no budget, I was able to take finisher sub only on my back all the way up to we've had over 30 events. I mean, the amount of guys, the amount of high-level guys that have competed in the tournament stuff is outrageous. High-level guys are still competing in the tournament. Like we got Grace, Alex Enriquez, Nicole Matthew, a whole bunch of people on the Grand Prix, and then we have some title fights. Brittany Elkins defending her title, Faye Charrier's defending her title. Coach and Dylan Garofalo are going at it.
Is this on the 15th?
Yeah, it's going to be on the 15th. So it's another huge card. There's tons of matches. The Grand Prix basically is an 8 women format where there's 4 girls on one side and 4 girls on one side, and they have to fight round robin. The winners go against each other at the end. Title fights, sub only. A lot of people are trying to jump into the game. I got the tournament hooked up on Flow Grappling. Like I got a lot of connections, and
come a long way.
So like I'm going to coach people, and I'm doing it with go on Instagram and follow the West Coast Grappling Series. That's one that's starting out there. That's eventually probably going to be Finishers West Side Finishers. I already helped, Omar, but he's took the ball and run with it big time. Midwest Finishers. I've helped out Sam with Emerald City. Believe me, these guys have done it themselves. Just like when you coach someone in martial arts, they're the ones actually out there doing it, but. And I think a wrestling guy said this once, you can win a lot of matches on your own, but your coach helps you win the championship. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you just need one other person outside perspective that can tell you something that you might not be thinking of, or you can't see it because you're so tunnel visioned on one thing that your coach comes by and just drops one little gem on you and it totally changes your mind, or he sees something that you're not seeing that you can exploit, whether it be in a match or in business, that can help change your game. Like when I got here, I got off the phone with one of my buddies. He's a very successful guy. He's been a smart dude. He was class president when we were in high school, and he does marketing for like businesses and stuff. He lives in Colorado, and I'm sure he's making a lot of money. I didn't ask him, but I'm sure he's doing great. I knew he would do great even when we were kids. He was a really smart dude. Like I said, honors, everything. I don't know why he was friends with me, but I was just asking him. He said, hey, he reached out and said, hey, if you ever need some help with anything, let me know. I don't know how I could help, but I'm sure, whatever. I just like talking about this stuff. So I gave him a call, and we had like a half-hour chat, and he just told me a few things that might just change the game for me, just because there was someone not in my industry giving me a perspective that I wasn't necessarily thinking about. And it's the same thing for, I have a lot of experience, and I see a lot of guys, not that they're doing it wrong, so I'm not going to, as a business coach, I'm like, you're doing it wrong. Some things obviously might be wrong, but most of it is just going to be me going, hey, what about this? Or, hey, what about that? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, take all your money and put in Facebook ads, or, you need to, I have no idea about Facebook ads. Like, we've done them. They haven't really worked out that great. Do we have Instagram ads and stuff? Do we boost posts? For sure, 100%. But I don't know if Facebook ads isn't your answer. Like, you're going to pay someone $5,000 to tell you to do Facebook ads. They've done that for us. I've been to, and it's not like I'm just coming up with this on my own. I've been to the business things. I went down to Mississippi to Alan Belcher business one. I learned from Matt Arroyo. I've learned from McHugh Jiu-Jitsu. Like I've learned from all these other guys, but now I need to monetize it. So, because it's hard for me to tell people no when they hit me up, but now I'm just going to be like, hey, you need to go on my thing and buy this. And I'm saying like, you need to buy my thing, but how many people can I legitimately help out before I ever get,
it's a nice way
return.
It's a nice way to also, because it's like I run into the same thing where people hit me up about podcasting a lot, and then,
hey, Mike, can I do I want to run my own. I want to start my own podcast. You're probably like, dude, shoot me.
Well, it's not that. The worst part is that nobody listens to you.
Exactly.
So it's like they hit you up for the advice, and then you tell them this is what you should do, and then they're like, I don't know if I want to do that. Well, it sounds like you want to do what you wanted to do, so why are you asking anyone go do it?
Yeah.
Which is what I did.
Right.
But now I started kind of like what you said. Your time starts running out, and the more you value your time, the more you stop to look at where your time lays. So like, I recently had somebody who we started working together, and we're doing a little bit of projects and booking podcasts and things, and then they said, "Hey, could you help me on this?" And I said, yeah. And I kept seeing their hand come back into the cookie jar. And even if it wasn't, I don't think that they were trying to take advantage of me, but I think it was their habit of how they're getting shit done, because their business isn't grown enough to know that you can't do that for forever. And I said to the guy, I was like, hey man, like we're starting to get into the area of you should just sponsor the podcast. And then they were like, look, we're not, I'm not ready to sponsor right now. And then I was just like, cool, let me know when you're ready to sponsor, and I'll answer your phone calls and I'll answer your emails, and I will guide you in any way possible to make money. But I don't have the time to sit here and hold your hand while you're not going to listen to anything I say. And then at the same time, the shit that you want for free, I'm asking you to just pay a cell phone bill.
Exactly.
To help me run the business that you want answers from, but you won't give me money to keep my business going where I learn more to give you, but that's not, you know what I mean? Like, so it comes to a point where now I'm like, and especially going into this year, and we discussed it, where I'm focused way more on like money and not being afraid to make profit and doing all these different things and turning it into a real business and taking less emotion out of it. And the more I focus on that, the more my time is left for me.
Yeah. Now we're not trying to do some pyramid scheme like Andrew Tate or whatever the fuck that a guy is.
But sometimes you have to start valuing, and you have to also look at who you're talking to. Like, I don't mind if like Josh or somebody from the school, or Ricky just hit me up and was like, he's doing a podcast and he's like, do you have any info? I love Ricky. I've had him on twice. He's one of my better guests. And I said, Ricky, let's get on the phone next week and I'll tell you some shit. But like somebody I don't know, and it's just, hey, can you give me A, B, C, D? And then I'm like, hey man, why don't we build this relationship professional now and start doing business together? And when they were like, no, I'm out, I'm like, cool. Like, I see how you do business now. And I haven't really heard from them since then. Yeah. So it's like, all right, well, I would have spent the entire year having a terrible relationship with this person, wasting my time and money where I was upfront about it. And even though that was uncomfortable for me, I saved myself 6 to 10 months worth of bullshit.
Yeah, because now I'll be able to be like, oh, you want me to help you run a successful tournament? Here's my tournament package. And unfortunately, it's not going to be cheap. If you want me to do a tournament for you, it's going to be like $2,500. You're going to have to pay me. It could be payments or whatever, but it's going to be a contract or something, and you're going to pay me that money, and then I will help you run a successful tournament, and I will put the way I run mine, I will put that same amount of effort, if not more, into yours, because I want to make it good for you. Yeah. But if you're not going to pay me and you're just going to hit me up and ask me questions and then go do it your own way anyways, why waste my time? Just go do it, dude.
If I see value in somebody that I want to even start creating content with, especially with doing the cooking stuff, like now I'll be like, look, man, like I'll help you do all this stuff and we can try and make money off of it, but, throw me the bottom of the barrel bone here, so at least I can build off of this and pay the bills.
Yeah, I'm going to have an option. Now that sounds crazy, like $2,500, but I mean, you could have one open tournament or you could have one pro tournament and make that money back. Like you could basically make that back plus pay your expenses. Yeah. Or if not, just break even, which I did for many years, was just break even or lose money on it.
How much did you spend?
Thousands.
You probably spent 10 times that getting it to where it was even making money.
I bet you over the years I probably spent upwards of 50 grand. Yeah. At least. Yeah. At least.
It's so to you it's still like, well, you're getting it cheap. I'm saving you half of what I spent in mistakes.
Yeah, and not to mention all the years that I've worked, I've doing this. Now I'm going to give you my design guy. And I'm going to give you my mat hookup. I'm going to give you these are things that I've had to work my way into that you're going to get for free. Yep. I always tell the guys, like, when I went out to John Jocks and he taught me a move, it wasn't just like he let me train there for free and he showed me a move. No. I had to get on a plane. I had to go away from my family. I had to fly out to California and deal with all that hoopla and then go to John Jocks and have the balls to walk in there as a black belt and be like, I want to do shit and then develop a relationship with John
Yep.
Jock. And then to where he teaches me the move, I fly home and then I beat up my body the whole nine, but then you get it for whatever you paid a month to come train here. And you
Yeah.
just, people blow it up. I value that kind of shit. And that's the type of people I'm looking for. Now that sounds expensive, $2,500. Some people it's not that expensive because I've already talked to people that told me that they spent a lot of money on advertising and other stuff with business coaching. It didn't work out, but I'm gonna have an option for like $99 a month. Okay, well that's in the martial arts business. That's less than one student, which is most people are charging. But for $99. I'm going to be at your beck and call where you can just not call me. I'll give you one phone call a month and whatever video you want me to like, if you're like, oh man, I really want to get good at, YouTube or Instagram, I need to build that, and I'll be like, okay, cool. I can help you with that. And I'll give you one video on what I see that's working, what I'm doing. And I'll give you that video and I'll give you one phone call for an hour a month. And then the rest of the time, you could just message me whenever, and I'll get back to you within 24, 48 hours.
Yeah.
If I could get 5 people doing that, that's $500.
Yeah.
And you could just hit me up. You're paying for like a business assistant where you could just be like, well, I'll just hit up Zach and ask him. And if I don't know, I probably know someone who does. And you can't tell me that I don't know my shit. I've started in someone else's place, to another place, to another place, to the 12,000 square foot place that we have now. And I brokered all those deals myself. I was the guy going up there and calling this dude. I was the guy beating up this guy's ass and everything like that to try to get it done. So, I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff. And when I initially talk to people, right when and I've just recently over the past 3 months changed some things that made our school way better, business wise, like tactics, how we sign people up and the way we do it. And I think that's going to be the onboarding process, I think is going to be the number one thing that I can help people with, because predominantly I see most people are doing it wrong. Not in that, like I said, I don't want to say wrong, but doing it the old way.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a new way, the way people have changed and everything, that I can really help you out with, per se. And for $99 or $500 for all the video, like I already have like 20 videos filmed with Quentin, on how we do leads, how we do, intros, how we do our kickboxing situation, like, everything. I filmed how we clean the mats. Like, so you're going to get all these videos, how our website is. And then you're going to get, like I said, me to just message me at any point, and I'm going to be able to just hopefully break shit down with you. And if you don't feel, there's no contract or anything really, for that $99, you want to quit, or you don't like it, or you think you used me up. And I think that'll be most people. They'll probably use me for a month or 2 or 3 and then be on their own. Perfect. But I just can't take the time to build other people's businesses for them anymore and build tournaments anymore for nothing, So I just need to be repaid for it, and it'll make me want to work harder for sure, so, and help them even more. The free game today that I was going to give you, and it's not like, well, if I change this, it's going to be the number one thing, free game. And I've learned this over the years, is professionalism. And I've had to change a lot of stuff about that too. And you could take it with a grain of salt, but the professionalism of it, it really changes the game. If you're not going to be professional about it, it's just not going to take off. Generally, people want to come in and deal with someone who's going to be professional about it. So the first step is getting everything working together in a professional manner. Like, for instance, if you walk into your dojo and it's a fucking mess, strike 1. Trash is overflowing, strike 2. Person's like, what is this? And then you got someone not wearing the proper equipment. You're not wearing the proper stuff when you're out there teaching, strike 3. Person might quit. All the things need to be done. And I'm really harping on the guys for that. And I'm really harping on myself, because I was guilty of it too. I think I got too comfortable and I let a lot of shit slide on my own and with the guys and everything. And now, me, Andrew, Thor, we're really working together on making sure it's like,
rock solid.
Yeah, like that's number one, man. If you're going to walk into my school and you're going to look around and the place is a dump and pictures are falling apart, or like, God forbid, it smells like weed. And I know we were guilty of it, and I was too, but people just aren't getting down with that, bro. Not when there's kids and shit like that involved. It's like, dude, just do it another
big.
time. It's not, people don't, it's fine. They don't care about that kind of stuff sometimes, but after a while they might. you know? So number one thing has got to be a professional. Look up what professionalism means or what the dictionary is, and just try to follow that in every parts of your business. When it comes to your website, to your Instagram, to your, and I'm not saying don't be yourself and be funny, you know, because people want to see that you're a normal
if you don't
human
hold
being.
a professional standard, there's no room for growth, because you're not going to grow any further than
Exactly.
the place where it's at.
Yeah, be professional, people. I'm working on it too. I'm not 100% on that, but that's one thing that I want to start to solve with, because I feel like that sets the tone for everything else. You know, if you're gonna have some killer website, but then, you know, you walk in your school, it's like the Airbnbs we're talking about, like, or the hotel. It says it looks like this, it appears this way, but when I walk in, it's not this way. People aren't going to be down for it, because the stuff that I'm going to tell you guys about in the future podcasts here, because I know I got to wrap this one up. The stuff that I'm going to tell you about in the future, it's not going to matter if you're not professional in every aspect of the biz. You know, the stuff that I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter. The strategies that I give you going forward, it's not going to matter if you're not professional. If you don't have your shit tight, or at least on the way to get your shit tight. And if you don't do that, it doesn't matter what kind of advertising strategy I give you. It doesn't matter, you know, what kind of trick anyone tells you to like sign someone up, because there is no trick. You know, if you're not working on being professional and keeping your shit tight, then nothing else is going to work. And I've learned that. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what it is. If you aren't on top of your game, people aren't going to sign up, and they sure as hell aren't going to stick around. And I've learned that the hard way, and that's one of the reasons why I can speak on it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's pumped to have the podcast back, man. I want to keep doing this. Hopefully we can do every week. I want to keep it going, because I know this leads into the rest of all my businesses. And, you know, people have been like, hey, I want the podcast back. I'm like, fine, I will do it. So Zach's Corner is back. And I know a lot of stuff I got to get done with this too. I got to get Sean's already working on the graphics, and then I got to get Q to get me a like an intro. Like, I want a new intro and everything. So for now, we'll just keep throwing these up. I just want to get the content out there. But for all things your boy Big Uncle Zach, go on the link in my bio on Instagram. And even if you don't have Instagram, you could just search it in Google and then click the link and the link tree thing, and it has all my stuff right there. If you want BJJ Fanatics DVDs, it's up there. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube, it's up there. Same thing. If you want to come to the dojo, 10 Planet Bethlehem, Finishers MMA in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, you can just go on the link tree, go on the link in the bio, click that link, and everything is there. How to sign up. You could just sign up for a month right there without even talking to me. You could just sign up for a month and show up, and you're already good to go, and we'll hook you up with a goodie bag, and you can jump in and start training. So if it's any of that stuff, you can always, anything that I'm pushing or selling or information is going to be in that link tree. It's just the easiest. I could just send you that link, and it has everything, you know, DVDs, shit, whatever, t-shirts, you know, who knows, it's on there, links to everything. So appreciate you guys. And if anyone has any questions or want to jump on, like, I'm going to do a pre-sale for the business coaching thing once I have it all set up. If anyone wants to jump on that early, or if you just want to do a free phone call with me, just hit me up on the gram or message me on something that's not like Twitface or fucking Facebook or anything like that, because I can't look at messages. Dude, I hear you up, man, on Twitter. Like, Instagram is the main one that I check. If you
it's the only thing I use anymore.
Yeah, if you have my email,
go on Facebook.
Yeah, no, who knows? And if you have my email, it's Z and then my last name, MASLANY @gmail.com. Just hit me up. I'll jump on a call with you. I'm not going to charge you for a free call. I'm not going to give you all the info, but I'll kind of just see where you're at. And hey, maybe you're already killing it. You're doing better than me, and I can learn something from you. In that case, you know, I should be paying you. So, but either way, I'm down to help. Mike, appreciate you, man. And
man. I like the hat.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Brittany, shout out to Brittany Elkin, made this hat for me. Hats by Britt. I don't know, I forget what the Instagram name is, but I mean, if you want one of these hats, she's making them. I don't think she sells them yet, but she should be. My son has a matching one, so we look really cool in it. And you know, it's like a little Rastafari style. So.
Wood.
Boy, right by the beach. Boy.
I believe it's